There is no sound, I guess.
No sound, Corina.
And be inspired to impact lives. Student Council is a group of students, elected by their peers to address issues of concern and organize student events and activities, etc. A student council is a curricular or extracurricular activity for students within elementary and secondary schools around the world. A student council is a group of elected and volunteer students working together with an adult advisor within the framework of a constitution or bylaws to provide a means for student expression and assistance in school affairs and activities, give opportunities for student experience in leadership, and encourage student community relations. A student council is a group of student leaders who work with an adult advisor to collaborate with others to impact their school community, which impacts their city or town, which impacts our state, which impacts our country, which changes the world. IIU believes that the student council helps to share ideas, interests, and concerns with teachers and school principals. Through IIU, International Student Development Council help raise funds for school, college-wise activities, including social events, community projects, helping people in need, and school reform. Most schools participate in food drives, fundraisers, and parties. Many members learn skills that were an extension of their formal education. Student councils operate in many forms. The structure of the student council varies from institution to institution. IIU provides a forum for student opinions, interests, and desires so these may be understood by the entire student body, faculty, administration, and community, honestly reflecting and interpreting the student viewpoint. We believes in, together we can, we should, and we will achieve the dreams that every student of the globe should have. Safe, healthy, and stable places to live, learn and work. Healthcare services at a moderate rate. Opportunities to acquire primary, secondary and higher education along with training, life skills development, and to succeed in jobs, careers, self-sufficiency, and adulthood. IIU strives hard to embrace ideas, cultures, and connections from every corner of the world, making different views and opinions a source of inspiration that enrich every member of our community. Values such as leadership, collective knowledge and experience to guide others, challenges for ourselves and others, dignity, intercultural perspectives, diversity, will help the members of IIUSDC to prosper. Piyush Pandit says, together we will achieve more. We should inspire each other to expand our minds and perspectives, always striving to explore new ideas and innovations for the betterment of the world. Our objectives are as follows: to initiate, implement, and complete projects and activities which will be of help to the school, the students, the faculty, the administration, and the community. To develop and provide opportunities for leadership and service in the local school and the community. To encourage the personal growth of leaders through participation in district, state, and national meetings and organizations. To provide a living workshop of democratic processes through such activities as elections, participation in a constitutional representative assembly, etc. To contribute to the educational experiences of students by providing them with a positive involvement in the school, with widened areas of responsibilities, and with more direct participation in organizing and implementing activities. To promote respect for law and order and the general welfare of the school and community. To promote an awareness of human relations, of power structures, and how one effectively operates within them. In this process, it is also the objective to develop an awareness of good leadership qualities, hopefully, for a more informed, concerned, and active citizenry of tomorrow. Our vision is as follows. The vision of the IIU International Student Development Council is to promote a sense of community within the school, act as a voice for students with the administration, provide community service, and raise funds for charitable causes and school improvements. Its purpose is to collaborate with teachers and administrators to improve student life and provide students with valuable learning experiences. Student Council gives students a voice in determining school issues and ideas for solutions. Our mission is to develop responsible leaders within school and community through IIU Student Development Council. We believe in nurturing self-esteem, pride, and leadership qualities within Student Council representatives through IIU SDC. Students will accomplish the Student Council mission through leading by example in classrooms and community by being respectful, responsible, and safe. IIU Student Council is working collaboratively to shape international education through professional services to schools, higher education institutions, and individuals. The vision of Piyush Pandit is to inspire the development of students all over the globe through high-quality international education by connecting ideas, cultures, and educators from every corner of the world. A committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds, possessing excellent administrative, verbal communication, and written skills. He is a next-gen speaker and passionate writer. The versatile Piyush Pandit is the founder of Swana Bharat Parivar and chairman of Piyush Group. The multi-talented personality created the Indian E-Village. He runs an NGO that has rendered its services for the welfare of society. The visionary Piyush Pandit had just one dream: no child should be deprived of education. He is working towards it day and night. Piyush Pandit concocts the world's first virtual internship university during a pandemic, the International Internship University, the IIU. International Internship University, IIU, is building a better and brighter future for all young learners and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. International Internship University is the first global virtual university offering quality, accessible, and location-independent education around in all areas. IIU is committed to provide exclusively free education to all the students and the youth of this world under this global hub. He works hard to inspire and empower students interested in entrepreneurship. Education should reach every student, though coming from different backgrounds. IIU Student Development Council works on the overall holistic growth and development of students globally to build their skills and steer them in the right direction so that they are recognized and utilized well to create a sustainable, meaningful existence of substance. We want to change the way the world views the youths, the pioneers, inventors, and leaders of the future. IIU is committed to a complete makeover of the youths of the globe with the help of counseling programs and training sessions on leadership, legal education, lifelong education, entrepreneurship, health and hygiene, public interactions, soft skills, wellness and rejuvenation, languages, culture, visual and performing arts, parenting and multitasking productively are undertaken with enthusiasm.
So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all honorable participants and the loving audience, all beautiful people present here from all around the globe. I'm Sanvi Datta, and I welcome you all on this special day dedicated to International Conference World Students' Voice, WSV. International Internship University, IIU, brings the brightest ideas in education. We're a global philanthropic foundation to support, through lifelong learning, the educational, professional, and personal development of people in education, training, youth, and sport across the world. Our future is in the hands of our students. Let's empower them and give them a chance to express their ideas freely. As said by Alma Gluck, when the student has his voice under complete control, it is safe to take up the lyric repertoire of Mendelssohn. How simple and charming they are. The right to be seen and taught as individuals. Similarly, all students come to the classroom with a different set of skills and abilities. Some students are great writers, others are great at math. Some have trouble remembering information that is presented to them in an auditory manner. Others have trouble sitting still for a long time. Even though it's difficult to plan individualized instruction, particularly in large classes, teachers should work to see all students as the individuals that they are and provide resources or activities to help them meet their potential. The right to be respected for their differences. Students come into the classroom with all kinds of differences. There are different races. They have different socioeconomic. They have different interests and viewpoints. Teachers should not put students down or treat them negatively because of these differences, and they should not allow other students to bully them or put them down for these differences either. Instead, teachers should create a classroom environment that recognizes the value of different perspectives. And now, I am pleased and honored to introduce International Student Development Council. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing worth can be taught, said by Oscar Wilde. International Internship University, IIU, is building a better and brighter future for all young learners and is committed to provide better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 100,000 courses and internships to their e-learners across 195 countries and 6 continents throughout the year with over 150 offices around the world. IIU is united in the commitment to provide exclusively free education to all the children and the youth of this world under this global hub. It has been accredited and affiliated with the World Education Organization, WEO, and International Accreditation Organization, IAO, and collaborated with all the world's top universities and educational institutions through the platform of Massive Open Online Courses, MOOC. IIU provides various certificates, including diploma, graduation, post-graduation diploma, post-graduation courses, and honorary doctorates. IIU has received many accreditations as per international standards for their innovation, vision, creative ideas, research, and white papers publication. Piyush Pandit believes that the Student Council helps to share ideas, interests, and concerns with teachers and school principals. He, through IIU, help raise funds for school, college-wise activities, including social events, community projects, helping people in need, and school reform. Most schools participate in food drives, fundraisers, and parties. Many members learn skills that were an extension of their formal education. Student councils operate in many forms. The structure of the student council varies from institution to institution. Piyush Pandit provides a forum for student opinions, interests, and desires so these may be understood by the entire school body, faculty, administration, and community honestly, reflecting and interpreting the student viewpoint. Piyush Pandit believes that together we can, we should, and we will achieve the dreams that every student of the globe should have. Safe, healthy, and stable places to live, learn, and work, healthcare services at a moderate rate, opportunities to acquire primary, secondary, and higher education along with training, life skills development, and to succeed in jobs, careers, self-sufficiency, and adulthood. Thrives throughout developmental phases such as early and middle childhood, adolescence, and youth. He says that together we will achieve more. We should inspire each other to expand our minds and perspectives, always striving to explore new ideas and innovations for the betterment of the world. So now we will be playing another video. So let us begin. It is time to invite our first guest. Would anyone like to volunteer to be the first speaker of today's session? Anyone can volunteer, whoever wants to speak first.
Can I go
Come on,
first?
guys. Yes, please.
All right.
Most welcome.
Can I share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Please wait. Um, right, should be there. Okay. Is it there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Okay, before I start, big thanks to teacher Corina and the staffs of IIU for giving me this opportunity. My name is Kanya. I'm from Indonesia, and I will now do my presentation or my speech or expressing my opinions about the current topic, which is World Students' Voice. But first of all, let me introduce you about Indonesian's education system. To be honest, it's kind of messed up here because we use the traditional learning system. They need to learn all 4 subject course every single day, and this schedule is used to be used when there was no pandemic. This is the school normal time, not with the extracurricular though at the 3 p.m. So students are recommended to take extracurricular to fill their student report, and they will usually go home at 5 p.m. But I don't know, I guess it's pretty common out there, like between our countries. And soon this year, the new student will use the modern learning system, mostly like the United States. Students will pick a subjects they would like to learn for 1 or 2 semesters, and they don't have to learn everything at once. And students also won't be learning in class every time. There will some kind of projects and field works to do, not all about theories, but also real practice, so they will know what is the benefit in life. Okay, so I'll give you one example. Let's think about math. Why do we learn math? Will it affect our life? If our passion was singing, is playing guitar or keyboard or drawing or doing art, will math be useful in it? Now, my teacher used to talk like that, so she always answers like, math. We use math to sharpen our logics, so we could think faster. We could use our brain sharper, and so it will make our brain so much better than the others that don't learn math. And if I will be lying if I don't get jealous or envious to my next generations, because it'll be so much different. It is a big difference for our generations. So I hope one day my generations can experience this new education system, because this education system is specially made to bring our country to the more futuristic educational system. And for the main topics, this is: student must have the freedom to ask and the freedom to express opinions. When they don't understand things, they should ask their teachers. But nowadays, students are just way too shy, too afraid to be wrong and others. I believe it is because this pandemic. So this pandemic caused a broken generation to grow without any awareness. This pandemic also turns active people into passive people. Students that haven't learned about the world will continue to shut themselves away from society and new things. Because of the virus isolation, we must know how to survive and keep humanity and teach them in long-term knowledge. Now, what can we do to prevent or remove the infection? First things first is we must know first why or how can they be like this. As a teacher or a parent, of course, you guys would be able to understand kids, right? Because that's our daily job. That's you guys' daily job. So the character of yourself really affects your students/kids. You need to understand them, learn their character, try to make them feel comfortable when they open up to you. And the second one is don't shout or beat them. This is just the least things you should do, because this only makes it worse. No, you should never do that. Okay, you would just put pressures instead. And the third one is, what is this? I haven't changed this. I'm sorry, guys. As for the third one is to teach them slowly. And every kids have different comprehension skills. Comprehension skill is just the ability to understand new things, to learn new things. And of course, there are still many tips out there, tips for parents, for teachers, that you can learn outside this conference. And I'm sorry to talk about this instead of the rights and obligation for students, but students need this too. So how to survive in outside world that would be different from they used to have. And they have a lot of works and pressures to outside school, outside their home, outside their lives. So good luck to parents, good luck to teachers, good luck to students, good luck for everyone here. I believe you can do this, okay? And it's been quite a while. I'm sorry if there's any mistake. So once again, thank you, Teacher Corina and the whole IIU staffs for letting me express my opinion. I hope we get to see you again, and thank you, guys.
My dear Kanya, wonderful presentation. Don't worry, there will be never mistakes from the student side. So everything is going well. Your presentations was a great start for today. Thank you very much for this. Sanvi, over to you.
Thank you, Kanya, for sharing such a thought-provoking presentation. Now I would like to invite the next speaker for taking their time to speak about this subject. Who would like to volunteer to be next?
Me, please.
Sure.
Just wait a second, please. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, let's introduce myself. I'm Sahar, an Arabian student, and now I'm a student at BFSU, a famous Chinese school in Guangdong Province, China. I'm so happy and pleased to be a part of this scientific event. The activities that attended, there's a lot of school and international activities. Oxbridge interview is one of the most important international activity I have attended before. I'm learning in Chinese school for around 2 years, and I have got more than 25 different awards and certifications. Firstly, I'm talking about the rise to learn. Firstly, I'm talking about questions. In this part, we can know why is question important, what are the rights of equation, and some information. Secondly, benefits and personal opinion. What are the benefits of education and how it helps the society? Thirdly, the problems. Everything in this world have a problems, and I have to talk to some of school teachers in some of poor countries and ask them what the problems that they have in education. Fourth, and endly, the solutions. After I ask them, I've searched and asked some professional people about the solution and how we can solve it in simple ways. Firstly, why education is important? Education is the self-path development, and it's the path that will determine the future societies in the global mezzanine. It is unsolved finances ability and reduce inequalities in the system of safety. Education builds trust among inhabitants, and when a person trusts himself or herself, her or his probability increase without others. So thanks to the education, we can make our decision and able to invent it and learn to their business. Secondly, what are the rights of education? The rights is closely and free basic levels of education, equal access information without any discrimination. The education must be of good quality, a couple of generation, a new generation of educated students. UNICEF was considered without education of the child and suggests free and equal education for all groups of child to learn basic skills and develop the child's creativity skills. And early years of a child are the most important stage of the child development. Learning starts for the moment of his birth or her birth, practicing educational activities and training the school child on it. And strong emotional must be paid to the teachers studying or dealing with the children's needs. It's towards that stage should province levels and advances the education of the child, such as providing good interactions for schools, providing educations free charges, providing qualified personnel for the education practice. Benefits of education, there's a lot of benefits, but I cannot write it all in the PDF. So firstly, it's personally for the first, it increases private jobs and living a better life. Second, for the future, increases in immediate growth. Each additional years of education rises average growth by 0.37%. Thirdly, for society, private education, nearly 420 million people could have been left out of the private and they had a secondary education, having the global province road. About the problems, what are the problems of education in most of poor countries? Firstly, students' problems, funded by the lack of business, spelling, school siblings are not able to all students due to high praise. Secondly, teachers' problems. There are no salary for the teachers. Some of teachers are not contributing to the teaching system. There's no privacy between the teacher or the students. There are no behavioral courses for students or teachers. Third, environment problems. A few schools, a large number of students per class. There's no air conditioner or school fountains and equipment. Fourth, standard of living. 14, spreads of drugs, and drugs in most of places are for free, then sold it to the children. For the students to work, the cost of living. The solutions and how we can solve it. Firstly, we can solve the students' problems, then teachers' problems, standard of livings, fourth, environment problems. Students' problems. First, the lack of business. One of the biggest problems affects the high school students, that they are funded by the lack of business. If they are unable to find jobs in the specialty that they are interested in, they think, why I have to spend the time and money less than 4 years in the university, and after that I can find even a job. So I think the state should provide some jobs for them. I have a friend that the first year after he graduated from the high school, he wanted to attend the university, but he found that he cannot find a job. And he said, first I have to find a job, then I can get the school money. Second, is there a price for school salaries? I contacted with one of school management in one of public schools in Yemen. They shocked me that from international organizations such as UNICEF and IIU began installing by unknown people and sold it in the market. In my opinion, the respect of domination must be under strict privacy communicating and directly should go to the people who in need. Thirdly, spelling, and I really have this problem because original students in Chinese school, so they think that you're different and it's a problem. Spelling is one of the most prevalent behaviors among communicates. It's spelling either in skin color, billing through the cracks, or billing with that started of living. Secondly, the teachers' problems. There is no salary for teachers. We can primarily like documentation for around the world. There is teachers' salaries. Secondly, teachers' relationship with the community. The community is one of the necessary exception of the educational process in the school, and one of the most important excessive education practices. Some of teachers are not committed to the teaching system. Give them salary and time, run a very strict school, and if the teacher makes any mistakes or any problem, the salary will discounted. Thirdly, the environment problems. A few schools. Have you heard? I want to ask that all of the people here who is here. Have you heard about Fountain Hospital? This hospital made by light steel structures, which are not expensive, and it's easy to build a safe school with it, which can be built quickly, which is what engineers often call it the bigging box room. The bigging box room invalid into a skinter house, considering the cludum and the bottom beam of fasting screws. Moreover, the waterproof prevents is good. Those speaking boxes have especially damaged babies, which is improve the risk of rings in the schools. In addition, recent years, the Peking box room has granted more advantage in terms of recipients, wine roof, and stomachs prevents. Therefore, the Peking box has many advantages, and it's simple to install, confident to transport, and has a generous operations. It's used in medicine, crisis stage, so that we can afford more schools in the low cost of more courses. And at last, thank you for listening, and I hope that you have some information how we can solve the problems. And if you have any problems or you want to talk with me, here is my Gmail. You can contact with me, send me messages, or you can send me on WhatsApp. That's all. Thank you.
Sahar, what to say? I'm speechless. You know why? Where are you from?
I'm from
Where?
Yemen.
Yemen.
Yeah, I'm
I
living in
know
China.
I have some contacts there. I know that the teachers there don't get a salary, didn't get a salary years ago, but I was not aware that they still don't get a salary. So you see, we are talking about students' rights, but we must link the students' rights with teachers' rights in each country. Thank you,
Yeah,
wonderful presentation. Yes,
thank you.
and a very good research. Thank you very much. Samvi.
Thank you, Sahar. That was a very beautiful presentation, and you brought up a lot of interesting points. So I would like to invite the next volunteer who would like to present their PPT.
I would like to go next if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, you may.
I'll just share my screen. I hope it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. I'm Hitecha Sahani from India, and namaskar, everybody. I am here to speak about the students' right to express freely. So firstly, I'll start by asking you a question. Why have we been gathered here? Why have we been discussing so many things for the past 4 days in this conference? Pretty simply to discuss the students' rights, to see what they feel, and we're having them, the students, express themselves. So yeah, moving forward. Devashish Mritha had once said, as a bird has the right to sing, so shall every human being have the right to think and express thoughts, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. Now, for today's presentation, I would cover up the 4 topics that are namely, what exactly is the freedom of speech and expression? Why is it so important for students to have it, and how can it be practiced? And what to keep in mind whenever a student is putting forward their right to freedom of speech. Now, what exactly is freedom of speech? In terms of students, the freedom of speech gives them a right to express their ideas and beliefs. That can be in form of writing, in form of an art, in form of a dance, in form of them speaking it out for that matter. Just that it has to be made sure that whenever they're speaking or showing their ideas and beliefs, they make sure that the manner that they choose is a certain manner so that they do not violate the others. The freedom of speech also means that it protects whatever you say, whatever you write, and how you express yourself. And it also protects your ability to protest, meet with other people, and organize. There are a lot of schools that sometimes are pretty, they stop students from protesting, or protests is a strong word. So even meeting in groups and putting forward their points, which of course is wrong. And that is something that freedom of speech and expression allows them to do. Now, moving on, why is it important for students? Their opinions. Basically, it gives them an opportunity to put forward their views, and it also allows them to make mistakes and learn from them. We all know that making mistakes and failures are part of success, right? And if you make a mistake, it's best to learn from it. So having the freedom of expression, it allows them to put forward whatever they feel. Moving on, we go to their future. The students, the youth is the future of the globe, and them expressing themselves is much needed. Why is it much needed, you ask? That's because us, the students, the youth, we are the leaders of tomorrow. And when students express what they're feeling, it makes them future ready because they are independent. They've learned how to stand up for themselves, and they are not afraid to put their points forward. And putting forward their expressions and their ideas also makes them communicative, which of course is a great quality to possess, because ultimately outside in the world, outside of the school, outside of their homes, they have to be good communicators in order to get their way. Moving on to the third point, appropriance. Appropriance basically means that whenever they do use their right of expressing, they make sure that the schools or the students themselves are allowed to, they are allowed to put forward their expressions and ideas without violating others. For example, a person has to speak about their religion and their belief. They make sure that they use a polite language so that they do not violate a person of another religion or another belief. This also gives them the quality of empathy and politeness, and it also gives them an ability to tackle any situation with a calm mind. And that I think is very important for all students. Moving on, how can we practice this right or promote this right? Like I stated in the presentation, it is really simple. Simply letting the students be respected and treated with kindness makes them comfortable in a classroom. If a teacher is being pretty rude or not approachable, they would be closed off. The students would be closed off, and they will not feel comfortable or open enough to go ahead and raise their queries, ask their questions, which again really is important. Moving on, freedom to give the wrong answer or make a mistake without being ridiculed. Again, like I stated before, a freedom to them giving a wrong answer and making a mistake enables them to learn from it. And if they start being ridiculed, they start to stop answering. They'll keep it to themselves. And again, in schools, it's very simple to have this right be promoted by writing competitions, for that matter, art exhibitions, dramas, and dances, and other activities where students can put themselves and their opinions out into the world. So that is pretty clear cut to how we promote this right. Now, whenever a student puts forward that they are using their freedom of speech, they must keep in mind these four things. Number one being, again, whether it be students or teachers, teachers must help students understand what type of expressions are appropriate, and opinions must not violate others' opinions. Like I've stated before, it must be in a certain manner and polite way. Third point, remember their speech should not infringe others' rights. Now, you may ask what infringement means. Simply that it is substantially interfering with another's education or physical or mental health, or it is threatening or intimidating to others, or it's sometimes false and is said that whatever that is said, and it may harm others' reputation. It also may contain obscene or vulgar language, and that is considered to be infringement of others' rights. So one must make sure that does not happen when they're using this right of freedom. On to the fourth point, know what this right entails and act accordingly. Whenever a student does go ahead and use this right of theirs, they must know that they're using it correctly. Now, how do they know that? Simply that your school cannot stop you from protesting or holding up a gathering or having an organization or clubs being made. They cannot censor or remove your articles from their newsletters, for example, unless and only if you use some obscene or inappropriate language. And for example, a school, I would not name it, of course, but a school did go ahead and punish a student for not being speaking their pledge and national anthem just because they did not believe in it. And it was a very severe punishment, which led the student to be expelled, knowing that this right entails them and allows them to put forward their opinions. You are not it's not mandatory to be participating in a pledge or a religious practice, and your school cannot punish you for that. With that, I would like to end, and I would like to share hope. I hope that everybody understood what right to express themselves freely is for a student. And yes, with that, I would like to conclude and hope that all the students know how to practice this right, why it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Sahni. A very good point you raise here. Opinions must not violate others. Yes, that's very true. We express our voice. We want our voice to be heard by others, but we must keep in mind that our opinions, our voice, don't have to hurt anyone else. Good, great presentation. A wonderful research. You are a very good speaker as well. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Hitacha, for the captivating PPT and for bringing out such educative points to our attention. Now, I would like to invite the next speaker.
We would like to
May I?
That's okay.
Jordan, you can speak. Okay, so first we'll have Jordan to present hers, and then we'll have the Othman and Marwa.
Okay, thank you. First of all, hello, I'm Danith Nebat, and I'm going to represent Jordan. I would like to thank you guys for this opportunity to talk about student rights. Every student can learn just on a different way in a different day. This is a very famous quote that has led me to the right that I have chosen today, which is the right to be respected for their differences. Every nationality, every culture, every single person sees the world in a different way. Similarly, every nationality, every culture, and every single person has different knowledge, perspectives, and point of views. When these views are shared together, miracles can happen. Diversity isn't just racism and ethnicity. Diversity includes different religions, different language backgrounds, economic sources, gender identity, and disabilities. Disabled students have it most tough because they are not welcomed into the school because of their disabilities or disorders, especially disorders like autism, OCD, ADHD, or Tourette syndrome. They all have trouble learning and they get their education taken away just because of their disabilities. The same way, when we have a diverse classroom, how can teachers respect diversity in the classroom? First of all, teachers should have a culture written down in their lesson plans. Second of all, teachers should ask the students if they feel welcomed in the class and they feel that their culture is talked about a lot during their classes. Third of all, the teachers should, during debates, should get every kind of culture so all the students can feel welcomed and feel on the same right. And last but not least, teachers should definitely get to know each student and understand them individually so she can know their weaknesses and their strengths. Why is it important to respect diversity in the classroom? This question is asked by a lot of teachers and parents, but I'm going to tell you why. First of all, students will feel more empathetic. That means they would like to work with other cultures besides themselves and would like to work with other people. Second of all, students will better understand lessons and people. When they talk about culture during the classes and diversity, they will understand the lessons that they're taking and the people around them. Third of all, students will have more of an open mind. That means they're going to have more than one opinion, more than one thought, more than one idea they can say without feeling judged. Fourth of all, students will feel more safe and confident. Students will feel more safe and confident in the environment they're in and the job that they're doing, and they will feel more confident saying their opinions, saying their thoughts without feeling judged or scared. And last but not least, students will go in diversity of workforces. They'll have more job opportunities, more places to work, better jobs, just because they know how to deal with other cultures and how to respect them. Teachers should keep in mind that every student learns in a different way. Some students learn by seeing something, some students learn by hearing, some students need to write something down or say something just so they can understand. And not all students learn in one day. Some students could take a week or maybe a month just to understand one lesson, but that's okay. Teachers should work with those students to get to understand their information. So what I figured out from all of this information is that teachers should first of all understand us and to get to know us as an individual. And they should custom and tailor their instructions and their methods of learning to meet the students' individual learning needs. One last thing I would like to say is when you're taking an education from a student, you're destroying their future and you're destroying the future generation. Thank you.
Wow, I loved your speech, really. I think it's the first time when in one conference we have students from Jordan. I I have some friends there. I know they are confident, they are good, but I never have the chance to meet a student from Jordan, and I'm happy today and blessed to have you with us. Thank you for joining us, Tanya.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tanya, for the interesting and thought-provoking speech. Now, I would like to invite the next speaker.
Okay, just hello everyone. Can I have a question, just one question with Ms. Caroline?
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I would like to ask you about the flags that is behind you. Can
Yes.
you tell me whose flag is behind you, which is with green stripes? And from where you took this flag?
Oh, I don't know exactly because I'm not the designer of the poster. So I will ask and we'll get back to
Yeah,
you.
because it's very big mistake and for us it's very annoying because the flag which is behind you, one of the flag is this, that with Russians took us our occupied territories and it is not the government. And it's very annoying. Yes, it's very annoying being this flag because we are fighting with you and with everybody for our territories. which is
not with me, please. You are not fighting with
yeah.
me. We are not fighting here. We are here to empower,
No,
empower
not
our
here,
students.
not here. We are
Yes, yes,
fighting
I
in every
totally
field in
understand.
education. Yes, and it's very bad thing because if our government and our government officials and anybody could see
It's the
this,
same.
that they are, yes, they
It's
are
the
as the
same problem,
government
you
here.
know.
Yeah.
It's the same problem with Greece and North Macedonia. All the time they are fighting on flags,
No,
on the
no,
name of the
no, it is
country.
not. No, it is not the same problem. No, it is not the country. It's not the country, which is not. It's not for anybody that it's a country. Nobody is saying that it is country. It's just
Okay,
occupied
we will.
territories. Okay.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
we will
and
check
it's
and
very
we'll.
bad thing from where you took it and from where who designer took it. This flag and what is flag? What is this flag doing here? It's very okay. It was very surprising for me. Very bad thing. Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll check and we'll get back to you. Okay, so Otman and Marva, welcome to World Students Voice.
Hello.
Hope you are doing good. So I'm Marwa from Morocco and I'm 16 years old.
And I am Etman from Morocco, and I am 15 years old.
So we will start now. Being a teenager can be hard work. Teenagers face social, emotional, and hormonal changes, often with little or no guidance, and they are influenced by social media in both positive and negative ways. They are often unsure of what they are experiencing, both mentally and physically. Sometimes they are afraid and confused. Some don't know how to properly express themselves, so they bother their emotions only to become overwhelmed. They are faced with the pressure of figuring out if they belong or even if they belong. Another thing is that the closures caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. For others, it's difficult to deal with all the changes left by the pandemic. Some students will return to school having experienced some level of stress, anxiety, isolation, or even depression. We choose this right because our century is called a century of depression, and it affects many people, especially teenagers, and talking about it helps them feel better. To start with, we will answer to the question, how can teachers support adolescent students? Teachers can give them a level of confidence. The classroom should be a safe haven where students feel comfortable no matter their level of proficiency. It's essential that educators build appropriate and trustworthy relationships with students so that they will develop a passion for learning. Teachers need to create an atmosphere that encourages students to express themselves in a respectful way. Some teenagers feel that no one has experienced what they are facing and that no one understands. Teachers need to listen with positive ears and don't be judgmental. They need to provide guidance. When students feel they are heard, they are more willing to accept corrections. Another way is that teachers must help kids get past such face saving by empathizing with them and by conducting themselves in such a way that students know they have their backs. Young teenagers need to trust that teachers won't humiliate them or let them humiliate themselves. Think back to the stomach churning fear you felt at the age of 13 or 12 that others might find you were out of your league in school and life. Teenage students feel that building relationships with students, proving daily that risk taken in safe in your class can dissolve those fears and replace them with courage. So if a student says something incorrect, instead of pointing out his error, ask him to tell the class more about his point of view. It's possible that as he does so, he will recognize the error of his thinking or declare that the student answer is the answer to the question you were going to ask later in the lesson. Or tell him the answer is wrong, but affirm his risk taking, thanking him for giving the class something to chew on. In addition, young teenagers intensely value teachers' opinions of them. They will move mountains for teachers who they sense respect them. So teacher-student relationships shouldn't be left to chance, especially when students are struggling. When a middle-level student feels that we think of him as just one more paper to grade, he finds little incentive to do well beyond avoiding his parents' threats. Even one stable relationships with an adult can make the difference.
For example, if we ask a student to tell us what has he remembered most about his favorite teacher growing up, I bet he wouldn't say much about the subject matter. Instead, I'd expect him to describe how he or she made him feel as he was learning that subject matter, the sense of excitement or discovery he felt, or the safety to take chances and make mistakes, or the confidence that he was valued as being as a human being. So science has found that students who have caring relationships with teacher are academically more successful and show greater behavior. A caring teacher can transform the school experience, especially for students who face enormous difficulties, such as dropping out or dysfunctional home lives. Uh, One student who faced these kinds of hardships told a researcher that the greatest thing a teacher can do is to care and to understand, because if not, he said, the kid will say, "Oh, they're giving up on me, so I might as well give up on myself." Besides, teachers need to know their students and the lives they live. This is especially important if students that are from different cultural or socioeconomic background than the teachers. Many studies have shown that cultural misunderstanding between teachers and students can have hugely negative impacts on students' educational experience. But research has also shown that teachers who visit students' home and spend time in their communities develop a deep awareness of students, challenges, and needs, and are better able to help them. If your time is limited, then ask students to complete an interest inventory, which can be as simple as having students write down their 5 favorite things to do. Their responses will give you ideas for making the curriculum more relevant to their lives. A sure method for letting students know that the teachers care about them. Besides, teachers can share their own experiences with their students so they can know that they are not the only one who faced such circumstances and that there is someone who got through them and he is here to support the students. Also, they need to actively listen to students. A teacher who actively listens to students is listening for the meaning behind what students are saying, then checks in with them to make sure they've understood properly. This affirms students' dignity and helps develop a trusting relationship between teachers and students. Furthermore, there is a clear connection between mental health and academic performance. If a student is dealing with social anxiety, it may be harder for them to participate in a class group discussion. If a student has an eating disorder, they will not feel comfortable during the class food party. And if a student has been through a trauma such as a sexual abuse the night before, they are certainly not going to care how to solve word problems in math. So teachers can make a difference just by recognizing signs and symptoms students are expressing. Each mental health disorder has its own set of emotional and behavioral symptoms. In addition, teachers can take steps to be culturally sensitive, create awareness, and work with students and their families to make sure the students are receiving the best help available.
Moreover, having a flexible classroom culture can help students with mental health disorders because the kids aren't accepted to be perfect. Instead, they are expected to work on improving their own behavior through self-regulation and taking opportunities to figure out what they need to make their behaviors better.
So this was our project. We thank you so much for your attention. And before we go, we would want to thank our English teacher, Miss Hannah Roji, who was the reason we are presenting here because she is the one who has shown us the conference, and we're so grateful to her. Also, we want to thank Miss Corina, who was always here to answer all of our questions. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. What I appreciate much was that point you raised, that when someone will ask you what you remember about your teacher, yes, you will not remember anything related to the subject the teacher teach you, but you will remember about the feelings the teachers gives you. Wonderful
Yes.
point.
Yes,
Thank you very much for your joining us, and
thank
see you
you.
again.
Thank you.
We're so happy to be with you. Thank you so much.
I'm blessed to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, Atman and Marwa, for the educative speech. Now I would like to invite the next speaker. Who would like to volunteer to come next? Anyone's free to do so.
I think there was, but maybe no.
Can I be next?
Lynn, please.
Yes.
Welcome.
Can you just give me a second? Hello, I'm Nina Asali from Jordan, and today I want to talk about one of the most important human rights, which is the right to be respected for our differences. We should share our similarities and celebrate our differences. Me as a student and all students in the world have the right to be respected for our differences. The world's 7.8 billion people are incredibly diverse. We humans display a dazzling area of languages, customs, religions, and more. Can you hear me? Is my voice clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our strength is within our differences.
Your
In a
video is
classroom, we live
it's
in a
not
diverse world as well. Every teacher must believe and understand that not all learners ought and learn in the same way. We're different. And diversity is not about how different we are. Diversity is about embracing one's uniqueness. We humans are different, and each student can learn, but in different ways and different days. Education is what shapes your future. Taking away the student's right is like taking away their future before it even begins. Education is what shapes your future. Our strength is within our differences, and diversity is our power. And diversity is our power. Always remember to be you, to be different, to be first. Thank you for listening, and I want to thank the IIU for this beautiful chance.
We have to thank you too to joining us. You are a wonderful speaker, and you raised also some very interesting points that education is the most primordial right of the students. And yes, we must know this. Without education, there will be nothing. So thanks to IIU, thanks to Mr. Piyush Pandit for giving us the chance to be in this conference together. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn, for that amazing speech. Now, who would like to be the next speaker?
I believe our speakers was all today.
No, there is just one who has sent me the recording video because she's living in that occupied territories, and there is the problem with the internet supply and with connection as well. And because of this, she sent me the video, and if it's possible, I will share it.
Yes, you can share the screen.
Okay.
Corina, we don't hear.
Okay, how can
you must share the sound as well when you share screen.
Okay, just a minute, sorry, just a minute, sorry.
3 dots, and there you have shared the sound.
Oh, yes. Okay, maybe I did it.
Hello,
now?
I'm
Yes.
Victoria.
Yes.
I'm 16 years old, and I'm from Abkhazia, Georgia. Today, I would like to briefly tell you about my attitude and opinion about rights of students. All students have their own rights and responsibilities. It is necessary to know them because we can defend our rights. Any students have not only rights, but also responsibilities. For example, if a student has the rights, he is also obliged to comply with the school's internal regulations. The purpose of school self-government is to create the necessary conditions for the formation of a free personality, the development of mental and physical abilities of adolescent, the provision of necessary knowledge. The formation of a healthy lifestyle, the formation of civic consciousness of students based on liberal democratic values, respect for cultural values. On the part of students, family and society promote awareness of their rights and responsibilities as the state and the environment. Most often, when a child crosses the threshold of school and comes to the first grade, he should have an idea of what rights he has as a student.
Okay, thank you
Wow.
very much.
Thank you too. This was really amazing. I loved the presentation, the video. I'm impressed all the time because I don't know to create such a video. I
Yes,
told you
me too.
I don't know to create, and I see so many wonderful presentations and videos from our students that I said, wow, we are really blessed to have such of students with us. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
I
Wonderful
would like to tell
presentation.
you just one thing about this. Now, just we have registered a lot of students from Georgia, but now this is a period when here is the exams graduating the schools, and they are also preparing for the university exams as well.
Best of luck to
And
them.
yes, and besides of this, they are also in different schools. For example, music schools, sports schools, art schools, and everywhere are exams now. And so they have so little time for participating here, and more of them could not do it. And I would
Even
like
so,
to,
even
yeah,
so, yesterday and today we have Georgia students, so that's
yeah,
nice. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
yeah. Okay, thank you. And just I would like to tell you one thing that this girl does not have any teacher who is teaching him such kind of things, and just we are teaching them to do such things with digital education. And
Wow.
how we are doing this? We are
Wow.
doing this, but with the distance. Yes, just we are
Yes.
connecting with them. So very. And we are connecting with them not to be known for their school head, because they are thinking so differently, and the so-called governments who
Yes.
are there, and they are doing all of this with a low and under I can say that under the table they are doing all of
They're,
this. And
they're
I think
amazing,
that,
really.
yeah.
Really.
And okay, thank you very much.
Thank you too. And congratulations for your student. Say her congratulations from IIU side because
Okay, thank
I
you very
loved
much.
her video.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nana. That was an amazing video. So, who's the next volunteer who would like to speak?
I think it's my turn now to speak. What do you think? I believe we don't have any more students for today. So it's my time for speak again about BCAP. Are you interested? Do you want to know more? Okay, I don't know what to tell you more because previous days I told you a lot of things about BCAP. But anyhow, I would like just a moment to share with you, for example, some information which will be very useful in your future. So, in order to register to BCAP, you have to register on the link provided in the content we share everywhere. And after registration, you will get on your email some official documents you have to print, to fill up, scan, and send back on the email I provide. So, like these are looking the documents, because it's a physical project and not only a virtual one. So we need your data, we need your acceptance for using your photos, your data, and so on. Okay. And I would like to show now, this one I will not show you, to show you something else, because your teachers must know the documents are somehow similar for students and teachers, but at the end here I put some more information for your teachers, who must inform you, must tell you about this. Every student who participates in the BCAP program India tour must have health insurance in order to travel abroad. Make sure they do not have allergies and have the required vaccines. Get useful information from the website of the Indian embassy in your country about such a trip with students. Remember that if the students do not travel with both parents, they must have a notarized power of attorney by which they entrust the child under your tutelage during the trip. Be very careful about the expiration date of your passport, yours and your teacher, your students. Check the work schedule, because we will send you the program schedule, and before to joining us in India, you have to prepare some presentations, some videos. There will be some workshops in mixed teams with students from across the world. So check well the work schedule and prepare the necessary materials before mobility. As teacher, you must prepare your students and inform them of what they have to do. A report must be completed before the trip, informing your students about the rules and the duties they have. I think for each trip we do this as teachers. Yes, there is a folder with the documents we have to fill up. Make sure all documents have been completed and signed before being sent to the email address we provided. And of course, before traveling, a meeting on Zoom will take place after the registration process ends with those of you who have demonstrated your participation in the project. So don't take so much time, get registered, and here I will show you, for example, for each, not this one, BICAP invitation, for each school, each teacher, we will send official invitation in order you to can go and ask for funds from the schools, from the council city, from the NGOs, or how you can provide. I will show you again the agenda, but this one you will see when you will fill the form. Okay. So join us in BCAP, join us in India tour. Don't miss this chance to see the wonders of India culture, India traditions, and of course there will be, as I hear from my Indian colleagues, a Diwali festival. I love this festival and I will love to be there at that time. So join us. Please don't forget to fill up the form. If any one of you have some queries related to this, some questions, I'm always here. You may contact me on my WhatsApp number. I am here for you. Join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Karina from Jordan.
Thank you too, my dear.
This
Thank
was
you
such
so
an
much.
amazing and unique event by International Internship University and International Student Development Council. We like to believe that any beautiful, creative, and lasting collaboration is a step forward for the future for education. Only together we can create leaders who perform day by day heroic acts with great dedication, heroes who inspire with their power to give with intelligence that opens minds, that challenges people with questions to explore new horizons. Because we are unique, and this day will give us an extra reason to share with others what we love and to let them know us better. It's my privilege to give vote of thanks. I have no words to express my gratitude to our guest speakers for the day. You all are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, organizing team, for being so supportive. It was also a great experience for me as a host when we have such a galaxy of brilliant students from all over the world and such nice audience on Facebook who like to be a part of this wonderful event. Thank you and see you again tomorrow. Same time and same place. Stay tuned.
See you guys. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you for
Bye.
having
Thank
us.
you. It was great time. Thank you. Goodbye.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you so much.